Hello everyone, and welcome. The first thing I want to do is just say thanks to everybody. I want to thank all my subscribers, those that have been here for a long time, the new ones that have joined just this week. I've had a whole bunch join just this week. I want to thank all of you guys. Without you guys, I'm just a guy in the woods talking to himself. So thanks for joining. Now, let's get on with why we're here. I came out for a solo camp, and I'm going to try and get a little bit of work done on the cabin if I can. Now, I showed up a little bit late this morning, and then when I got here I had to shovel like crazy. I shoveled around the fire pit, I shoveled around the cabin so that I can do a bit of work later, and I had to shovel out an area to set up the tent. Now, I'm in the middle of staking out the tent. And there's something you guys don't know about the last camp out that I did. My tent was actually broken. I had set it up about a week before coming out because I wanted to test it. Now, we ended up getting about 2 inches worth of snow. And when I got here, the tent was collapsed. So I took a lid from a peanut butter jar, and I stuck it at the top, and I shoved the pole there, and it held for the weekend. Then when I got home, I had to do some repairs. Before I put the tent up, let me come show you what I did. What happened was, because it's a teepee style tent, all the stitching meets at the point. Now, they put in some reinforcing in there, but again, it's all stitched right in a point. So all the stitching is right where your pole goes. Well, with the weight of the snow, it just popped a hole the size of the pole straight through the stitching. So what I did, when I got home, put the peak back together and I just stitched it straight through. And then I had some scrap pieces of canvas, so I cut 2 circles. I put one on the top, and I put an identical one on the inside, and then I stitched all around it. It's ugly stitching because I'm not exactly a seamstress, but it's on there good. A big part of the solo camp this weekend was so that I could set this up, test it out, and see how it goes. Now there's the canvas ring that I put on the top. The top of the pole is actually right there. And if we come inside, there's the ring I put on the inside. So now that there's not a whole bunch of pressure right on the stitches, that should hold fairly well. I'm going to sleep in it tonight and find out. I walked onto the site here. It was about 10:30 this morning. Now it's 1:45. The tent is up. The whole place is shoveled. I get to work for a couple of hours before I have to worry about dinner. First thing I got to do is get rid of some of this ice. I was in here a couple of days ago just to check on how things were doing, and I had 3 logs left over there that were the right length, so I cut them to length and I stripped them myself. I really missed my stripper that day. I'm probably going to miss her again later, because I gathered up a whole bunch more logs. So I'm going to put up these logs, then I'm going to go strip some more, and I'll try and get as much done on the roof this weekend as I can. I'd love to get the roof on this thing soon. I'm not going to bore you with all this tying and tying some more. I'm going to put up these logs and see what happens from there. Okay, I've got those 3 roof pieces tied on. So now I'm going to mark and cut the next pieces, and I'm basically going to have to strip them as I go. Small leftover piece. Cut her up to cook tonight's supper. Don't know what it is about stripping these logs that Anne loves so much, but I'm glad she loves it because I hate it. All right. It's 3:15. It's a slow-going process. The tying is slow to begin with, and it rained all day yesterday, so the logs that I'm stripping are frozen. It's not going as well as I would like. But because it's getting late, 3:15, it's going to be dark around 4:30. I better get that fire lit so I can get a good bed of coals so I can cook supper. A lot of the bark and everything that's around is damp. Not wet, but damp. I managed to get some bark, but in my fire kit I found jute twine. So I made a bit of a nest with it, and that Should really help it take off. A little bit of jute twine works wonders. Sun's going down behind the trees. I put my leather gloves on. I preloaded the wood stove with some birch bark. So I'm going to try and grab one of these hot coals and go throw it in there. Spread that out a little bit. That way I can get my potatoes going. Pre-made these at home. Just wrap them in foil. Toss these in here. Let those start to cook. And once those are done, I pre-seasoned a steak with a little bit of garlic powder and some Montreal steak spice, and I'll be throwing that over the coals later. So I'm manipulating the fire more over this way. I've moved my potatoes back into this hotter corner onto the hot coals. That way I can keep adding wood to the fire here and pull coals to the corner here as I need them. Now, I'm losing my light pretty fast. I'm gonna set up my handy dandy little grill. And this is my rock that I usually remove. And I use it to hold up the grill. Beautiful steak that I brought. Put that over here, over the coals. And let that start to cook. And while I'm waiting for my steak, I'm gonna have myself a little Waterloo dark. Don't know if you're going to see this at all. But there's my steak, beautifully cooked. And here's my 2 potatoes, nice and soft. Now, of course, it wouldn't be me out camping if I didn't forget something. I remembered to bring some butter, forgot to bring a plate. Hopefully my headlamp is bright enough. Wow, hot. Woo. There, potato. Oh yeah. Butter for you. Save the last little bit of butter for the other one. Perfect. Lucky for me, I was thinking enough to put a flat rock up here, so it's nice and warm. Oh, that's perfect. You're probably too far away to see that, but that's just nice and pink. Beautiful. I just finished taking my nighttime insulin, and I'm going to be heading to bed pretty soon. But of course, before we go to bed, it's always good to eat a little something. So I've got a little bit of butter. And I've got my frying pan. So if I stick that on the stove, shouldn't take too long for that to melt. I pre-cut some onions and some mushrooms. Can already hear that start to sizzle. Whew, it's warm in here. Wow. But I checked the temperature before coming in, and it's hovering right at the freezing mark. So it's not super cold. On my last overnighter, I mentioned that I didn't have a winter sleeping bag. I was using 2 summer bags. Well, I want to send a big thank you to a subscriber of mine. She knows who she is. She reached out to me, and she sold her camp, and she doesn't do any camping anymore, but she still had a few sleeping bags. So she sent them my way. 2 of them are identical. They're a Woods, a minus 10 degrees Celsius sleeping bag. So those are going to be great. And there's one that was very old. I've been trying to do some research on it to find a temperature rating on it, and I cannot find one. But it's an old cotton canvas outer shell. It's filled with goose down, and then the inner lining is wool. So that should be a fantastic bag. That's what I'm going to be using tonight. So once again, a big thank you for those sleeping bags. They're going to be fantastic. All the snow is melted under the stove. The ground is steaming. Yeah, I think it's a little warm. One of the perks of having a wood stove in the winter, you don't have to go out and cook over the fire. You don't need to bring a little gas cylinder stove. You just cook right on the wood stove. Oh, that is smelling fantastic. Yeah. Sorry for the pole in the way, but it's not a very big tent. Yeah, those are pretty much done. So what's going with the mushrooms and onions? Johnsonville cheddar cheese sausages. They're pre-cooked, so it's just a matter of warming them up. I kept 2 in here for my snack tonight, and I've got a few stashed in my food cooler. I'll probably eat those for lunch tomorrow. I'm going to finish warming these. Eat that. Then I'm going to change and head into bed. We'll see you guys in the morning. Morning, everyone. I've been up for a few minutes. Had my breakfast. Just oatmeal. Boiled some water. Now I'm making my coffee. Once the coffee's done, I'm gonna get dressed and get out of here. And go start doing a little bit of work outside. And in the meantime, slowly packing up. Pack a few things, cut a few things. That way it breaks it up and I'm not doing a mad dash pack. Seems like a nice day out there though. Looks a little cloudy, but it's not cold at all. I mean, I'm still laying here in my t-shirt. Mind you, I'm also beside the wood stove. But they said it wasn't going to be very cold this weekend. It's running right around the freezing mark. Oh, this sleeping bag works out great. Oh, it was toasty warm all night long. Morning coffee. Is there anything better? The rest of it's inside by the wood stove staying warm. I'm gonna have my coffee. And then I'm gonna maybe go get another log or two because those are all frozen solid. They're hard to clean out. I'm gonna finish my coffee. Then I think I'm gonna go get another dead standing. The ones I have there are still covered in ice. It's supposed to be somewhat warm the next couple of days. I'm hoping that they'll thaw out a little bit. If not, I'll figure something out. I checked the thermometer. It's about -4 this morning, which is sitting around 23 Fahrenheit. It's not bad. I had to put my sweater on, couldn't stay in my t-shirt, but it's beautiful. Sun's coming up. Should be a great day. Hopefully I get a little bit of progress done on that roof today. And with any luck, next time I come out, Anne will be with me. With the two of us, it'll go a lot better, a lot faster. Okay, I lied. Maybe I'll have 2 cups of coffee and then I'll get going. This is delicious. So here are 2 very good candidates. This one, the bark is all coming off. It's dead. It's broken off at the top. And there's another one right here that the bark is all coming off all the way up. So I can take these two. I see another one back there. Two more. But after seeing the other logs out there all frozen, I think what I'm going to do is take one, take it out, strip it, put it on, come and get another one. When I come back with Anne, then I can take out 2 or 3 and she can strip and I can start tying. But by myself, one at a time, please. Be way easier that way. And I know I'm not coming back to frozen wood. Get the measuring tape. So, my assumption was correct. With all the rain we got, those logs I had laying down got frozen. But the ones I'm taking out of the bush that are standing, the water ran right off. Very easy to peel them. Fantastic. So, I'm going to tie this one on, and then I'm going to rinse and repeat. Go get another one, clean it, tie it on. Go get another one, clean it, tie it on. Get as much done as I can. Once that stove dies down, I'm going to pull the stove out of the tent and I'm going to start packing up some of the tent. And then go back to doing a few logs. Let's see how much I can get done before I gotta go. Well, it's time for lunch. I'm going to eat the rest of those sausages. I just have a small fire going just so that I can get a bit of heat to warm these up. Spent my morning getting a log, stripping it, and putting it on the roof. And then I packed up my stove. Got another log, put it on the roof. Then I packed up the sleeping bag. So on and so forth. I've already made one trip up to the car. I brought up the sleeping bag because I didn't want it to sit in the snow. And I brought the stove. So I don't have to worry about that. Let's get out of the smoke. So, once again, I want to give a big thanks to the sleeping bag lady. That thing was very comfortable last night. I was toasty warm all night long. And I'm sure the other two are going to be the same. I just checked the temperature. And it's about 3 degrees Celsius. Works out to about 37 Fahrenheit, in and around there. It's kind of a shame that I'm going to have to pack up and go soon. I'm going to eat my lunch and tear down the tent. I'll get everything put away, and then I'll see if I have time to do some more logs or not. Hopefully I can get another 1 or 2 up there. Typical Canadian fashion. Last time I slept here, it was -20. This time, I'm in a t-shirt. Unbelievable weather changes. So, all in all, we got 14 pieces added to the roof. And out of those 14 pieces, 2 of the logs I took down were actually long enough that I got a wall piece out of 2 of them. So that's 14 roof pieces and 2 wall pieces, so 16 pieces total. We're coming along. Roof's almost closed. We're getting there. But it's getting late. I've packed everything up. It's time for me to get out of here. So if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. And if you're going to do that, hit the notification bell, and that'll let you know whenever I put out a new video. It's been fantastic having you along. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your support. And we'll see you on the next one.